visual area, association area, motor function area, and Broca's area, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain. Auditory area, emotional area, sensory association, and olfactory, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain. Sensory area, association, Wernicke's area, and now we're almost done. Parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain, parts of the brain. Motor function area, higher mental thinking, cerebellum motor function, and now we know the brain, we get an A. We know the brain, we get an A, we get an A. Alright, so that's our brain, and then we go in and we want to write down all the, well, I write down all the initials for what they are after we memorize it. So we have visual area, association area, motor function area, Broca's area, auditory area, emotional area, sensory association, and olfactory, sensory area, self-association, Wernicke's area, and now we're almost done. Motor function area, higher mental function, cerebellum motor function, and now we know the brain. So now we have to go and put some more stars in. So I just remember that stars go next to these numbers. Our stars will represent the lobes. Okay. So then we draw it, because I think if you draw it, you'll be able to memorize it. So we draw it basically based on the hand moves. So visual area, we touch the back of our heads. So remember that it's in the back.
Everybody touch the back of your head. Do it. You need to
Visual area, we put our star next to it. Association area, we flip up and we end at our temples. So it flips up on our paper. Motor function area kind of like squiggles upwards.
Because you're moving a lot.
And Broca's area is a circle that's attached to the one to motor function area. So we have auditory area. That's a sign that I know for loud. I don't even know. I do it a little bit back.
It's actually the sign for.
Yeah, that's what. So I do it a little bit backwards, and I remember that's right here. Emotion. So these three have our squiggle next to it because I think of them like Alaska. You're not going to see them on the full picture. They're going to be on a separate picture because they're in the middle of the brain, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm like ready to cry right now. I'm so proud of you. Go ahead.
So emotional area, like, oh, you're so emotional, but also that's the shape of it.
Oh, that's what my mom says about me.
Me too.
So emotional area. Sensory association, you touch a little higher than your visual. And olfactory is smelling, so it's close to our nose, and I just picture it being right there if I were to draw a line backwards. So here's our Alaska, and then we go back to this picture. Sensory association is the same one as motor function, but it's just squiggling a little bit behind motor function. And our 9 gets a star. Association, you just have to remember the full word. It's like tomato, but somato, sensory. But association is attached to it, but at the top. So it's like same as Broca's, but it's attached to my top of the finger.
I agree.
Wernicke's area, we kind of point to this part of our head. So it's right there. Motor function area. Motor function area is coordination or eye coordination, eye movement. So think of like tracking something in front of your eyes. Motor function area, and it ends at the top of your head. Higher mental function is in the front of your head, and it's where our sparkly stuff happens, our creativity, our higher learning, our sequencing, planning, all the judgment, decision making. And then cerebellum motor function. The cerebellum is right here, next to our neck, I think. Yeah. And also, cerebellum motor function is for posture and balance and coordination of like our movements. So cerebellum, posture, balance, motor function. And now we know the brain. We're good in it. So now we have to go back and do our stars. So one is our visual area. So visual, sight, occipital lobe. Association area ends at our temples, so remember that it's our temporal lobe. 9, I don't have a way to remember it.
Let's give you one.
There you go. 12, motor function. This is one that we think of Texas, because this is our cerebral cortex. Texas, like Texas, you wear a cowboy hat on your head. This is in the front of your head, so frontal. And then cerebellum motor function, it's in the cerebellum motor function, so you should just know it if you know the song. And then our last star represents the brainstem.